The Georgia Department of Transportation is responsible for designing, building, and maintaining some of the very best roads in the country. But you probably don't have any idea of the enormous job it takes for each and every project. Even though the construction process may appear to be random, there is a highly structured method called the plan development process that efficiently manages the project from start to finish. Public input is a key component of the plan development process, better known as the PDP. The PDP is created to benefit the public's many needs, to ensure equity and fairness on all projects, and to allow what we all deserve, a high-quality transportation system. Because of the wide range of these needs,
the PDP attempts to serve the public best by allowing for an established order of checks and balances, involving environmental, social, economic, and engineering issues.
With so many things to consider, and with so many needs and opinions involved, many projects may have remaining issues that are not yet fully resolved. To you, it may seem that roadway projects move slowly through years of engineering and construction. But with a multi-billion-dollar yearly budget, you have to realize that there's a lot at stake. So to fully appreciate the plan development process, you should understand that the department is not only responsible to create forward-thinking designs, but also to act as a dedicated steward of the taxpayer's dollar, committed to the public's many needs. Of course, the construction process begins long before the first shovel of dirt.
It actually starts with the identification of a transportation need. These challenges are different throughout the state. In metro areas, traffic issues are usually tied to population growth, and many times, smaller communities keep expanding and sprawling until they become linked to their larger neighbor, an evolution that requires wider roads and larger bridges. In most cases, the people who drive these roads every day
are the first to recognize a problem, and they often become the squeaky wheel demanding that something be done.
In fact, the department welcomes and values public opinion and uses it as an influence in creating an improvement plan.
Transportation planning is ongoing throughout the state all year long with the extensive input from the public. Believe it or not, a typical widening project requires about 4 to 6 years, from the inception of the project to the awarding of the contract to a private construction company. During the concept and environmental phase, public input is solicited through a series of public open house meetings designed to inform the public about the development of a local project and to solicit feedback from local citizens concerning their ideas, opinions, and their everyday needs as a resident. The open house meeting features a visual display that depicts the alignment of the project, including the location and direction of the road and bridges involved in the project, and how it will affect property owners along the route. Early in this concept phase, department engineers create a big picture concept that seeks to solve the specific transportation problem while avoiding or minimizing its impact on the environment and on its citizens. Possible impacts on the area include a number of considerations, such as noise impact assessments, ecology requirements, air quality, threatened and endangered species, stream and wetland impacts, plus historic and archaeological resource requirements. Once all these factors have been thoroughly considered, an environmental document is prepared. The environmental document must show that any negative effects have been minimized and the public has been properly involved throughout. Once the environmental document is approved, it's time to move on to the next phase, preliminary design. During this time, Georgia DOT engineers take the design developed in the concept phase and render actual draft plans for the project. This is when the fine details are worked out. Once everything has been considered and approved, the plans are validated and the requirements for right-of-way are determined. In this phase, the department purchases properties needed to construct the project. The purchasing process is simple, straightforward, and most of all, fair. Certified appraisers independently determine the fair market value of properties that are needed for the projects. The department then negotiates in good faith with each property owner and is proud of the fact that agreement is reached in over 95% of all cases without the need to go to trial. Meanwhile, the final design begins, as plans are completed and construction details ironed out. Once the plans receive final approval and all properties have been acquired, the project is publicly advertised and open for private contractor bids. The private contractor who is ultimately awarded the construction contract is responsible for building the project by the department's plans and specifications. Throughout the construction process, the Georgia DOT monitors the project to ensure its satisfactory completion, completing the plan development process. The PDP reflects sound engineering practices, from concept development to preliminary plans to the final plans, and finally to the contract award and construction. The PDP is a balanced, linear process that promotes forward-thinking designs. It's guided by an attitude of care and sensitivity, an understanding of the public's needs, and a consistent responsibility to you, the taxpayer. These elements of quality create the basis for understanding the plan development process.